was amazing.
Very cool.
We are getting more and more high tech as we go on. Welcome. It is Monday, January 17th, 2022. It is the second Monday that we are live this year. I'm so excited. Last week we had a repeat because we were asking you to be in the moment on Monday because we were living in the moment and we needed a little bit of a break because it's so good to do that every once in a while. Listen to your body, listen to your mind, your soul, and to take a break when you know you need to. Tonight, we are here together again. My name is Donna. I am your host, Tracy Locke, voice of the audience. And of course, we have Kim Mazzella, relationship coach and life docent, a professional relationship coach and life docent. And we will be discussing the power of loving what is. As you know, we are coming up. We are 2 weeks away from our third Open-Minded Mystics Mastermind, and it will be called Love Everything. And the date is incorrect on there. I have to update that. Moving from the platform of fear to the platform of love. And tonight we are warming up and getting ready for it by learning how to love everything. And it's learning how to see the moment through the eyes of love in order to create a life you love. Kim Mazzella, welcome. What's going on? And welcome to our audience members. It is an interactive show. I cut myself off. I apologize. It is an interactive show. We are live right now in so many different places. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on Twitch. If you're watching from any of those places, we'd love you to subscribe, like, and share from YouTube and to interact. And always interacting and always here, Jerry Reesby. Good evening. What's up, Hab?
Jerry.
So
I love his name makes me smile.
His name makes me smile, and I love when he always says, "I'll be there with bells on."
Awesome.
I know. Awesome. So what's up, ladies?
I am so excited for this show. We were just talking. This is our first show back together in the new year, where we're actually all together.
Second.
Last week was, we weren't, right?
No, last week was the repeat of the first time we were together because we came back. We both you had a hellish journey coming back from Florida.
That's right.
And that's why we needed the week off because we just kind of needed to regroup.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But the week before that, we had our program.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the first time we're back in public is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
I'm like losing my mind. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, you're right.
No, you guys.
Our program was December 29th, right?
Yes. And then we had a show. We had it on the 7th.
Yes. Because
I came back from New Year's from Florida, and so did Tracy. We actually arrived that day. Tracy was in that crazy ice storm where she was stuck on the highway where there were people there for 20.
Right.
Okay, and then what we decided is that we needed a week off because my special guest, Ryan, came all the way from the UK and he arrived on Sunday. So thank you. You guys, I'm telling you, we're going to have this amazing interview coming up soon. Tracy Locke is going to interview us and then we're going to slice and dice it together and put that out there for those of you that have been following the COVID love story. The love story. Yeah, COVID quarantine love story. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's going on. So we're welcoming everyone back. We have 2 weeks for our next Open-Minded Mystics. If you missed last month because of the holidays, we get it. So many people let us know that their family was in or Omicron came and took over, their home.
The world.
And honestly, so we are just getting back to being here, being present. And tonight we're talking about seeing everything through the eyes of love. That might be a challenge to some people because there's so much going on. Anger is really taken over. But we want to talk about how to redirect it. And Kim, you're going to be the cruise director on how we can look at things through the eyes of love.
Yes.
Well, I'm really, it's funny because if you've ever the people who've been with me a long time know whatever I'm working on personally is what I create a course about. Right. So for me, I came into this year and I knew it was like a 7-year for me. So if you know numerology, a 7-year is a mystical year. Yeah. So 7 is all about developing your spirituality, really moving into a space of undercover work on yourself. So I started this year I am going to look at the things that I want and try to figure out what it is. So I started this year what is it that is holding me back from getting what I want? And it dawned on me, I just wasn't really happy right? I wasn't really happy because I kept thinking, when this happens, I'll get happy. Or when my son does it, my daughter makes this decision, I'll be happy. And even though intellectually I knew that wasn't, I was like, oh, I got to really take a step back and figure out what happiness is for me in this stage of my life. So I have been reading, A Course in Miracles, which is what I teach, like crazy. And there was this part in the back. So I'm in my fourth reading. I don't know if I told you this, but I finished reading it for the fourth time. I'm now in the manual for teachers, which is still reading it, but I've read the actual text for full times from beginning to end. And the way I read it is I read like through 3 or 4 paragraphs a day. So I've been reading it since I'm 19. So like that tells you how little I read. But it's an amazing book because if you read like one paragraph of it, it could be food for thought for the entire day. Anyway, so I've done the lessons more than 4 times. Anyway, so I saw this line that said, a teacher of God, which is wording for the Course in Miracles, and it's basically you, right? Anybody who lives a life. If you're on a spiritual path, what happens is eventually you stop judging things, you stop defining things, you stop asking for things. Really, because you know that, like, you've already asked for it all. You know what you want, right? You just get quiet and listen and get guided. And I was like, oh, right. So I was like, that. And that's where your joy is. It's not like you're listening and getting guided because they're taking all your fun away and that you've been a bad person and now you've got to listen to the wise ruler. It's about being guided by yourself, that part of you that is in alignment. And, it is so hard. If you are a manifestor or somebody who's trying to manifest, so much of manifesting is finding that balance about accepting what is and loving what is and moving forward. And the truth is, so I had this very interesting experience that I got to witness in present time, where we were trying to sell a house, right? We're trying to sell a house that had some things about it that were a little difficult, that made it difficult to sell, right? And it's such a crazy time when it comes to getting loans and stuff like that. So when we tried, finally said, let's just take it off the market. This is just not working. We took it off the market and a series of miracles happened. And it's like it went back on the market by itself and we got like 30 offers, right? So, and I thought, wow, isn't it interesting when you stop, when I told the universe what I want, I said, I just trust that it's all going to work out. I am done. I am leaving this my job is just to go get happy. And it's one thing to know it intellectually, but we did not come here to know things intellectually. We know all the rules. You know the rules, right? You know all the rules. It is like, Abraham Hicks say, if you want to go on a whitewater rafting trip, is it about getting to the end? Because you could certainly put your raft at the beginning of the journey and then say hi to all the people and then drive to the end of the journey with your raft and get to the bottom of the whitewater rafting trip. But you would miss the trip, and the fun is in the trip, right? Like the fun is in the trip. And so I'm like, there's no getting there, people. There's no getting there. The universe knows what you want.
Okay.
Let's wait. We gotta take that down.
I want to ask you.
Lots of stuff happens.
Being here. So what I meant, I didn't get to finish the sentence. There's being here. Okay. That's what I meant.
So there's being here. I understand that, but from a completely layman's perspective, brand new, what's the difference between letting go and giving up? Because to someone that's not a practitioner of this, it sounds like you just go bleep it and you just like.
No, I didn't.
Not you. No, not you. I'm saying, what's the difference between saying, okay, the universe knows what I want, and saying, that's the hard part. That's the part that's confusing, is like, what are you working on and what are you letting go? And what does that actually mean?
Okay. So the thing is, joy, there's nothing but this moment, right? So if there's nothing but this moment, all your power is in this moment, all your energy is in this moment. And one of the things that even Abraham Hicks said is they stopped calling it the science of deliberate creation, because they felt like when people were trying very hard to create exactly what they want through a science of thinking, they got too lost in the practice of thinking, right? It is a practice of feeling, right? So it is not resigning yourself to never having it. It is resigning yourself to, this isn't the moment because I'm not joyful. And let me just go get happy. So what I did was I asked to see this through the eyes of spirit. And what that means is I asked to see this through the eyes of love, right? I just am just going to, it's resigning to recognizing, wait, I'm not joyful. The whole experience of selling the house was awful, right? It was not fun. And I was like, oh, this is not fun. I got to go find fun, find joy, get happy. And then when I feel happy, and that's what it means, what I mean. So what I did was I said, I trust you. Like, I trust the universe has my back. I trust you. I've known so much when I try to make it happen. It's like I break it into a billion different pieces and then I'm trying to glue it all back together. And if I just like give the whole thing away without trying to make it happen, say, hey, here's what I want, right? Here's what I want. I'm going to go play on the thing over there. While you figure.
So like on a really practical level, not on a metaphysical level, on a practical level, what did you actually do? You just said, okay, I'm giving it to you. You know what I want. Now I'm just going to focus on other things.
I let go of the struggle. I felt like if it didn't sell then, right? Because everybody said that was the time to sell. That was the time to sell. That was time to sell. So I got it in my head, like it has to sell now, right? It has to sell now. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. I'm guided by a much more powerful force than my realtors. Nothing against them. They're wonderful people, but a much more powerful force. And that force is recognizing I'm unhappy. So I'm not creating what I want. So giving it away was really like almost like relaxing into the knowledge that I'm protected and loved by the universe and they know better than me. And so it was giving up the struggle. And so what I did was said, well, what do I like to do instead? What do I want to do with my thoughts? The thing is that you only can rent like one thought at a time in your head, right? So all my thoughts were rented like we've got to make this happen. Even though intellectually, you guys, I teach this stuff. I know this stuff, but teaching it and knowing it when you're in the middle of like
and living it and applying it.
Right. When people are saying, oh, you got to sell your house now. And, oh, you got to do that. And you're listening to these experts. And then you have to remember, oh, I am guided by a much stronger force and that voice inside my head. So here's the thing is that because I listen to what A Course in Miracles says, because they say a real spiritual path is about just saying, I come to you with open hands. What do you want me to do next? You know what I want. It's not saying, hey, take all my fun away. I'm going to live this austere life because here's the thing, that power that you're giving like all that stuff to actually knows what you want and has the path to take you there. Right. So when you just say, oh, my job's to have fun. Here's the other thing is that we think, oh, well, then you're just giving up and being happy. Right. Like you just, no, it's not that you're giving up. You're just doing the thing that will inspire you.
Right. Can I say something?
Yeah.
So to go with what Tracy was asking too, and just kind of being that voice in the middle, right? It's, we've all witnessed a child having a temper tantrum. And when you see what's happening from that outside part where they want the thing, whatever the thing is, and the parent is saying to them, but if you just do this, if you just relax, if we just get to the bench, I'll give you your ice cream then. And the kid's like, I want it now. I feel like the universe is that parent, right? That's like, listen, if you just like relax into it, I'm going to give it to you. And the child is like us that can't relax and let go. And what happens is then, of course, I'm speaking about this in an analogy. The universe is not punishing, but sometimes a parent might say then, okay, now you're in timeout. And now you have to wait longer for that ice cream.
Right.
And by the time you wait longer for the ice cream, it's melted. It's not as fresh as it was. And, it's like you have to just say, okay, listen, I'm going to go with the flow. And I know what the rules are and I know what I have to do. And the first thing that came to my mind when we were talking about this is Ryan and the relationship. And how many times was he supposed to be here? And how many times did things happen? And how many times did I sit there and say, okay, is this a sign? Is this a sign for me to wait? Or is this a sign for me to give up? And is this a sign to say this is not meant to be? Or is this a sign to say that things are just not completely aligned correctly yet? And it's like that getting stuck in traffic, and you could sit there and have road rage and say, be on the horn and say, I can't believe this person's not moving. Or what do we say as people that believe in spirituality and the universe is that could have saved you from a car accident, right?
Yeah.
You want to look at it like that. And you want to think of it like, why didn't the house sell? Because if the house would have sold and we would have money in hand, perhaps we would have actually bought a house that would have had so many issues. But that not selling, it allowed us not to have the funds, not to have the means, not to be free from this one specific, moment. It's like, I didn't get the ice cream at that exact moment because maybe I was about to trip and fall and I needed my hands to save my face. Like right. There's so many different things if you allow the universe to really be in charge. And going back to what we were talking about tonight, seeing things through the eyes of love, it's interesting. And again, speaking from my personal experience, like we all do, I got to really go to a few extra football games with my daughters. I got to really experience the holidays without complete lockdown with my daughters. Like I got to go to Florida and be with my friends for New Year's. I got to do all these things so that when the time came and Ryan got here, like we'd be able to really gel. And right. For him, he got to spend the holiday with his mom and Christmas with his mom, which is really important. She broke her wrist. He needed to be there for that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he was here, she broke her wrist, and then what was he going to do? Have to fly back? Like he wound up going for a routine scan to find out he needed to have surgery. Imagine if he didn't. He could have died in the plane. Like I do believe that in divine timing. I've always subscribed to it. I've always believed in it. And it's supposed to be now.
When divine timing happens, here's the thing. He sold his house basically 3 times, and each time something fell through and it was like treacherous, and every time it was treacherous, and it was just awful. And I'm like, this is just not fun. It was awful. When we gave up and just said, you know what, universe, in your time, right? Every step of the way has been so easy. We're almost laughing. Like we're just like, this is so fun, right? Like this is just easy. And by the way, it was a lot more money than the original offers. So yeah. So it was like, this is the way. And it was such an eye-opening thing for me. And I decided that, every year I develop. So this year, everybody knows I pick 2 words, and my words were going to be abundance. But I decided this year is really about connection. I really want abundance and connection. I'm going to reconnect to that part of me that just guides me. It's not something out there. It's something in here.
Yeah.
And there's that spark of light in here. And what happens is, and even the Course in Miracles talks about it, there's the clouds that you have to get around. And those clouds are doubt and judgment, right? Doubt and judgment. Our judgments about other things are deciding that we know what's best, right? In all those struggles, instead of giving it and saying, hey, you know what, universe, I surrender to you, bring it to me, show me what I should do. I said, let me make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. It wasn't fun. My judgment sucked in that scenario. You know what? The universe's judgment, this source's judgment is so much better than mine. Why not let the discerning part of that created the universe help me, I don't know, pay my taxes. You know what I mean? Like, just why not use that energy? And it's been so easy and fun and just like, oh, okay, this is all working out. Okay, this is great. What's next? Bring it. Right?
And it's not to say for people that are watching that are like, oh, why am I watching this? These people, like, I guess they never go through hardship. It's not to say that you don't go through hardship. It's to say that it's the way that you choose to look at what it is that you're going through. And that I know for me, I can only speak for me. I can't speak for either of you. I really do try to look for the lesson. I really do try to seek out the silver lining. Like even when there is a negative, right? And when you can look at life that way and almost like, I guess, train yourself really to look at it that way through meditation, introspectiveness, like introspection. Like I think that that's what changes how you go through. Again, what's my analogy? You can't control the ocean. You can only control you on the surfboard. And if you can learn how to manage the surfboard and to recognize that you are going to fall in the ocean, you are going to fall in, but you paddle back, you get back on, and you figure out how to stand for a little bit longer. But, people that you watch these amazing surfers in the ocean, and it's like if they gave up the first time they fell, they would never enjoy those huge waves that they get to go in and under and around. It's, it's so true. I love that. Amen. A challenge is data. Exactly, Nan. Thank you for being here tonight. I love that. It's exactly right.
Great.
If you look at it like tea leaves, like I know that's another little nod to them, you can really learn from it.
Oh,
I love abundance.
What a word.
Unbreakable wisdom. I love it. I love that. I love that, Kelly.
And so for people that are new and watching, again, because voice of the audience. So what that means is when you have a situation where you feel like or stuck, it's not working out the way you want it to, it just seems like it's not moving in the direction, rather than get frustrated, just let it go. Like, just be like, okay, well, I know what I want. I put it in, and then that's it. Put in my order, let it go.
I want to mention something. So letting it go, when I really started to really study letting it go, because there's a lot of stuff in my life, because I don't know, I'm not perfect yet. I'm working on it. So one of the things I heard once is you never really let something go. You grab onto something else, right? So what I grabbed onto was a practice, right? So for me, what I grabbed onto was, let me up my meditation game. Let me up my, I broke out this book that I already filled out. Thank you, Ryan. And I'm doing it again from the beginning with new I just shoving pages in it. Let me break out of this, because I know if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm just going to keep getting what I got, right? So right. When I talk about looking through the eyes of love, I'm always talking about there's two platforms in which we see anything. And you are fully committed to the platform when you are making a decision. Fully committed. You cannot be dangling. So if you think about the way a train station is, you cannot straddle both sides. I mean, you could try, but you're going to get hit by a train, right? So you're either fully on the train platform going north or fully on the train platform going south. So you can't be a little bit in the realm of fear. You're standing, you have anything, doubt, content, anything bored or less, you are standing on the platform of fear. Anything content or more, you are standing on the platform of love. So your job, right, when you're feeling that is, what is it that makes me feel a little bit better right now? What is it that I like to think about? So for me, I love to think about writing. I break out a pen. I love like pens that roll on paper. I know it sounds so silly, but that works.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, right. Like I love that pen that rolls on paper.
Like a gel pen.
Yeah, they're so great.
Yeah.
I love that. Making that, like, I mean, they won't exist in 50 years. So like, get it while they're getting good.
Enjoy it while you can.
Put them in a Ziploc and keep them for later.
Exactly. Bury it in your backyard. Bury about 10 of them.
Right?
You worth big money. No way.
Yeah, right. Well, they're gonna be like vinyl, right? Like, what do you do with that?
Where'd you find this? Pen and ink.
Right.
Yeah. A good comment. I heard something recently. If you're having a hard time letting go, try putting it down for just a day. Then remember how that felt. That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
It's interesting because my daughter and I were talking about heartache, and that she's in a little bit of heartache. Like, so, and I said to her, well, how are you managing it? And she's like, I'm just trying to focus on the things I love. I'm like, oh my God, like it's amazing. Like how, if you do those things, they, even if you don't realize it, they will trickle down to the people that are around you. And heartache's part of life. Those things that we obsess over, that's when we get better at them, we get better, so I said to her, my first heartache, I was in my 16, and then it was terrible, and it lasted a really long time. And then my second heartache, I was 21, and it was pretty bad, and it lasted a long time. And then I got better at it. And now I just don't give my heart away in the same way. I fully own my heart, and you get to visit. I will, it's not that I don't love hard. It's just that I love me hard. And in learning how to center that love, right? And learning how to really center that love. Everybody who comes into life, don't get me wrong. If my boyfriend were to, walk out of my life, there would be grief there. But I don't know if it could, because as you grow through love and the love, I mean, you have a bigger, it wouldn't be like that 16-year-old. What do they say?
It's not a devastation. It's not a happy place, but it's not devastating. Now, are there tools that you could actually give us, as far as you talked about meditation? Are there any other things that you do when you're in that feeling of like, okay, I'm not I'm trying to force things. And how do you actually know? I guess the best way is it doesn't work the way you want when you're forcing something, when you're pushing it. I mean, I feel like you innately know, but are there any other signs that you should pay attention to where you should be like, okay, you need to stop and walk away at this time and stop pushing this agenda because it's not moving forward and you're not accepting. The big thing, one of the things for me that I see with people and myself is like not accepting what is instead of what you want it to be. It's
Right.
like, when do what's a great way to maintain and ground yourself and be like, okay, we need to focus on what's happening here, not what you think should be happening over there.
Well, it's so hard because if you think about law of attraction and you listen to Abraham Hicks for 5 seconds, they're always talking about don't beat the drum of what is, beat the drum of what you want. But sometimes beating the drum of what you want it makes you unhappy because you don't feel what you. So I think it's really about how does it make me feel and really getting better and better at paying attention to how you feel, right? So I think that's why when we're talking about heartache, I won't have the same kind of heartache because I don't know if I'd let myself go down that rabbit hole of obsession that I used to go. I mean, I used to be like obsessed with, I would like grab onto you and like, right. Cause I was an addict in all things. So, and I think that my addictive personality was such a blessing as an adult because it really taught me. I wouldn't have learned, I wouldn't have bothered picking this book up and reading. I wouldn't have bothered. Right. So,
Sure.
but I did have to surrender on so many levels. And I think that we kind of have to get to the point where we surrender every day. But how do you know when you're ready? Well, actually, Marianne Williamson talks about it all the time. How do you know when you're ready to surrender? You're ready to surrender. Like, surrender it now. Don't wait. Right. So give it all away. The universe hasn't lost your file, right? That's what she'll say. The universe hasn't lost your file.
I love that.
Right.
It knows what you want.
That is great.
Believe me, you have given it to the universe loud and clear. It knows what you want.
Right.
And by the way, I wasn't giving up selling the house forever. We weren't like, okay, we're just going to stay here for the rest
We're
of
live here, guys. This is it. You're done.
We just said now is not the time, right?
Right.
Now is not the time. But apparently the universe had other plans, and it was like, nope, not next March. It's going to be December.
Nothing now.
I love when you catch that feeling too, where when you recognize it. It's when you actually recognize, like, wait a second, I am pushing too hard for this.
Yeah.
And when you catch yourself and you go, okay, it's kind of like self-soothing. It's like, again, going back to that child that's going through the temper tantrum. And then when they finally learn, like, wait, this is actually not the way to do this.
Yeah.
It's like when we start to realize, ooh, if you could just be like that feather in the wind, that plastic bag in the wind that you see that just is like so easily floating and it's like effortlessly going. And you're like, oh, the wind, like the universe is going to guide me in the right direction. I mean, Abraham Hicks talks about that all the time. When the train is going in one direction and all of a sudden you try to go the opposite direction and you're going against the path of least, or it's taking the path of least resistance. It's such an amazing feeling when you actually catch that feeling.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what they talk about. They talk about the path of least. Oh, thank you. The path of least resistance. It should feel like we feel like, I think that as human beings, we are just like so used to thinking things have to be hard, right? Work hard. I mean, don't give up, work. Americans, we work ridiculous number of hours, right? Like we work hard. And I think that we get ourselves in that vibration and we just think that I got to work really hard for something. Because in school, to get good grades, you got to work really hard to be. So one of the things I love about the Course in Miracles, it talks about value, right? That we think we have to establish our own value. And that's so much part of the problem, right? So if you think about, like how we look, we think that we're more valuable. That's why as we age, we feel like we lose our value, right? Like as we age. And really, according to the Course, you can't establish your own value, but we're all wholly valuable. And until we get that, like, so we're all as valuable as, there's no one not as valuable as you, and there's no one more valuable than you. And getting that on like a gut level is really where peace is, right? Because then what are you working for, right? Like what are you working so hard for? So you don't have to work to that. How about you just work for joy, right? What if we all just work for joy? Because
Right.
I'm going to tell you,
Absolutely.
I know what makes me joyful. Like, and if I had a client once and I talk about it all the time. She went on and on for 20 minutes about what she didn't want. She said, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want this and I don't want that. And I just let her go, and she just like got to the end, and I said, okay, I see that, that, and that's great. You're really clear on what you don't want. So what do you want? And
She's like, I don't know.
she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what do you want? And it was such, she, she ever watching, and, thank you for letting me use your story. I'm not going to use your name, but she has said that I could share it. She's, what do you want? Like, really, what do you want? And so sometimes we just have to know that the universe, if it's not right now before our eyes, then joy, we could experience joy, because really manifesting is about experiencing joy in the moment. And so what I really realized from that experience was I was not liking it. And if you can't like it during it, you're not going to like it in the outcome, right? You're not going to love the outcome. So I moved in like this fast. I was like, let's let this go. And I remember we were watching TV, and I'm like, let's let it go. And it was so weird because we were just both so relieved to let it go. Like, and I was almost like planning the other way, and actually when the house calls started coming in for the house, I'm like, oh, we let that go. It was almost like we had to backtrack, like, oh, do I really want to do that now? That's a lot of work.
Right.
Kelly Larkin, I woke up on Christmas and realized that the weird feeling I was having was peace. It has been years since feeling that. I love that statement.
That's awesome.
That is an amazing statement,
That
Kelly.
very cool.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you. What a gift. I mean, especially on Christmas, to wake up and feel peace.
And I think that's what we're all striving for. I know personally that's something that it's like, oh, I would love that feeling. And I think it is that we are conditioned as women, as Americans, as East Coast Americans, to constantly be like and going and making it happen, and get out there and make it happen. And you're the boss with the applesauce. And if it doesn't work, it's because you didn't do it. And if you want it, you got to go for it. So it's like this hard thing to balance of how much is it's like America's all about personal responsibility. It's your responsibility. If you want to make it happen, you got to go out there and make it happen. And then if something doesn't happen, you're like, oh boy, I messed up my responsibility. So I just think it's important that people have tools to really be able to step back and figure out, am I doing the work? And if I am doing the work, I have to let it go, or am I not doing the work and I'm being lazy? That's a hard spot.
It's funny. I was watching Emily in Paris, and the statement that was made, I love it. I binge watched it. It was amazing. I love it.
I haven't had time.
I'm not a bubble burster, I promise.
Okay.
But the line they don't work the weekend. The line that really stuck with me was when the gentleman from Paris said to Emily, the difference between us is we work to live. You live to work.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, that was such an amazing statement. And now having Ryan around, and it's so different, because I definitely am like a shark. I have to constantly be moving, and it's really hard not to.
Already? Has he noticed that already? Like, is he commenting?
Yeah, I mean, how could he not notice that?
No, but I mean, well, because culturally, what I'm saying is culturally, he's coming from a totally different culture, not totally way different, but Europe, the UK is different. So
yeah, well, you have to find that out when you interview us.
No. Right, I will. But this is on topic for
No. I'm kidding, but I'm saying because like we really haven't discussed it. But one thing I will say, like, that I thought was interesting is on Sunday and Monday, when I was like, we were doing some stuff around the house, and I was just like, I think I just want to sit down. He's like, well, it's your day off. You should be sitting down. And I was just like, wait, what? Like, all right. Oh, all right. Well, I felt like just getting the permission was like something that I needed. And that was just weird.
I know it's not weird. I feel that way all the time. If I'm just sitting, Like Chris will comment to me, my father comments to me, you never just sit
Me too.
and watch TV. If I'm watching TV, I have the computer on my lap and I have my phone and I'm like looking at listings or whatever. I'm never just like sitting and doing nothing. And today, MLK Day, which, we have to mention that. Of course.
Yeah.
And Betty White's birthday. Whee!
Yeah.
But my point is today Chris had off and I had off, but I had things to do. And I said to him, are you going to do blank, blank, and blank? And he's like, no. And I said, why not? He goes, because it's my day off. And I was like, oh,
I know.
As a woman, I feel like we have a much harder time giving ourselves permission. And I'm not even a mom. I can't even imagine what it's like as a mom, where you just feel like you never have just permission to just sit or watch a show. Like I'll call my sister who's got 2 little ones and she'll say, oh my gosh, I'm watching Emily in Paris because this is my time because I'm folding laundry. Instead of being like, it's always going to be with some task happening. And I do the same thing. I'll allow myself to watch something if I'm doing something where I can be multitasking.
I watched the Eagles game. Sorry about your Eagles, folding my laundry yesterday.
Yeah. It's a rough week.
Yeah.
I watch all TV shows on my phone, which is like so sad because I have 2 giant televisions in my house, right? And my son actually said, Mom, that TV is like 72 inches. Why are you watching that this big?
I wish I could make this larger. I never just sit unless you guys are on. We love you, Kelly, for that. No wonder you found peace. And have we mentioned yet? I mean, it is 36 minutes into the show. I just need to say that we are coming up on our third open-minded mystic mastermind, and it's going to be on love everything, seeing through the eyes of love. The focus of our third mastermind is to learn more about the emotional scale and how to use the what thought feels better tool, which I'm really excited about. Which again, if you have noticed, what we've been doing is monthly extending, and incorporating what it is that we're doing in the mastermind in the weeks leading up to it if we don't have a guest, which is amazing because then you get a little bit of a breadcrumb trail into what will be the great abyss of greatness and love and that amazing, delicious meditation that we do, which again, we are recording just the meditation part. If you're wondering what the heck is she talking about, I'm talking about the fact that on the 31st of January, the last Monday of the month, Open-Minded Mystics Mastermind presents our group. It's Love Everything, Standing on the Foundation of Love, Not Fear. Monday, January 31st, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. $20 per session. Each session includes lecture, interactive workshop, group discussion, and it is amazing. And last time we had a wonderful time writing some scripts, and it was just like this amazing, delicious group. But what we've done a little bit different from the first time, if you were here for the first one, is we are recording the amazing meditation and sending it out to you that night so that during the week when you need us the most and when you just feel like, you know what, how cool is it to have a meditation designed with your name in it? It's kind of like those books when you were little and you got to like see, oh, Bobby went to go see Santa Claus and Kim and Tracy were there. And it's like, so it's just like so unique of an experience. And it's something you can just take with you like a goodie bag that you have for the week. It's just, I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, it's just so nice to be able to access that. It's amazing. I've accessed the one that we had, and it's just so great the way Kim is able to bring everyone in the group into the meditation individually as well as collectively, and you can feel the energy of everyone working towards everyone's goal. It's just so nice to be in a collective. It's again, with everything going on with COVID and with all the uncertainty and you're not allowed to see certain people and you can see this and you miss all that. It's just really nice to just be able to see people once a month, the same people, new people, but you're all working toward the same goal. I can't say enough great things about it. And the meditation is off the chain and so relaxing. And for those of you out there that are like me and tightly wound, you're going to love it because you're going to have permission to just sit there and be like, it's perfect.
I love this. And I love what I'm really working on the class right now. And it's such a great class. I really can't wait to share it. And I've created my own little graphic with the emotional scale because I haven't found a graphic as great as the one I want to create. So, so I'm kind of working on that, and I can't wait to do the meditation. It's interesting because I was talking to a client this weekend who never had the meditation before, until we did it in this format, because I've done groups for years and always told her about the meditation, how different it is to do the meditation in my group versus what I do individually one-on-one. And I have to say, a group meditation is really it's a different dynamic. It is so powerful. And I've never had anybody come away from that meditation and feel like it went on too long. And sometimes they go on for quite a bit of time, but it always feels like time just subsends itself and it goes, that's it. And most people wake up from it like, wow, refreshed and renewed. I think it's just the best thing. And what's great about that meditation is it lasts forever. So you have to, what does that mean? Well, you'll have to come to the group to find out.
Exactly.
And space is getting limited. We are up there in our numbers. So if you are interested, please reach out right away, because it's such a great group. It's such a great group of women, and it's so much fun. So we're getting up there in our numbers. So.
And I can't express enough that you don't have to drive anywhere because you're home.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about having the meditation at the end virtually. I know that one day we'll all get back together and we will be, in the same room. But one thing that I appreciate about it is we used to do it in the salon, and we'd be there late at night on a winter night, and we'd do this meditation. We'd all be snuggled up. Like, we'd all be like, oh, this is amazing. And then we'd be like, wait, we have to wake up and go in the cold car. Not when you're doing it virtually, you don't, because when you're doing it virtually, it's like, you just have to reach your arm up and be like, hi, everybody. And that's, amazing. So back on the topic of seeing things through the eyes of love, Kim, when you're talking about that and you're saying it in a general, I know we're talking about it with manifesting, but in a general way of speaking about it from day to day, can you give us an example of what do you mean by seeing things through the eyes of love?
Okay. So you have to notice first that you're unhappy in some way, right? And most of us do get unhappy throughout the day, every day. If something happens, someone says something, someone does something. It's really hard to go through the day without seeing something. If you go on social media for 5 seconds,
forget it.
Right? So here's the thing. Everything, if you think of yourself as creating everything out there that you see, now you didn't create the things out there, but you're creating the things you've attracted, right? You've created what you've attracted to you. You didn't create the world. You didn't create the drama. You didn't create serial killers. I'm talking about the things that have come into your view, right? I've attracted that right now, right? If you recognize I've attracted something I don't like, that means I am projecting that fear. So what does that mean? That's a little deep. So if I am the creator of everything, everything comes from me. So what actually happens is I push out my fears out into the world. I push out my dislikes into the world because I don't want to own it, right? So it's easier, or you could think like attracts like. So there's this fear that I have, I push it out into the world, and now the whole world's a mirror to who I am, right? So now I see something I don't like. And usually I'm like, you are an whatever, come up with a word. And usually from that place forward, I start to feel bad, right? So I've come to this conclusion that I don't like the person on TikTok, right? Or whatever. And I get annoyed. Now I'm moving down the path of getting to that fear space. Now you could say, well, it's not fear, but anger is on the path of fear. So if you could think of it as just the path of negative or the path of positive, right? You first have to make the recognition, hey, you know what? I'm allowing that person. I'm judging that person. And in my judgment of that person, I know I'm creating something that could put me on that path of negativity. And I don't want to be on the path of negativity, because I know if I go down that path, I'm going to start feeling bad, because you can't not. Because when you're on that platform, sooner or later, and it might take 12 hours, and then you're angry later. You don't even know why you're angry, but it started with judging someone on TikTok and think that you're better than them because they have that belief. And then you go from that, and then you're like, oh, the person, you believe that way, the person drove. And then it just all of a sudden starts snowballing, and then you're angry at the end of the day, right? So it starts with the first judgment. If you can notice you're judging someone, that's a great thing, because, sometimes you're judging people and you're like, but they're really, really, really not making a good decision. Let me not call them bad
Okay,
names.
well, wait, let me ask you a question about that. When you're judging someone, Kim, is that are you judging yourself really, or are you judging them?
Well,
Is it about
okay, let's say
That's a good one.
okay, let's say someone has a different political belief than I do, right?
Right.
Why would I care? Go on with your bad self. Why I care is because I feel unsafe.
Okay. Yep.
Right? Right? Like, honestly, truly, if I knew that I was in a universe where everything I needed would be provided for me and all that I wanted would be provided for me, what do I care with what you're doing? Right? But why I care is because I think that somehow you're going to hurt me or you're going to be able to harm me. But really, it's not that I think you're going to harm me. It's that I don't feel safe.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, their judgment, in your eyes, their judgment doesn't make you feel safe. Like, I'm not safe.
No, I don't feel safe. So I push that out into the world and I see it out in the world as a TikToker that says something, I don't know, like if I was a, I don't know, a liberal, they're a Republican or whatever, like, or, like whatever it is.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter what it is. They could be talking about a TV show
or parenting. A lot of people like pick on other people's parenting, right?
Right.
So maybe somebody's doing, what's those things that I've been seeing videos? What's it called? Something parenting. I don't know. I really, so, gentle parenting. Yeah, gentle parenting.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
So I don't either. But, but I watched this lady and she's like talking about gentle parenting. Right. And I could be someone who doesn't believe in gentle parenting. And I see her and I get like, that gentle parenter or whatever it is. Right. And I'd start to be like, that's just so stupid, right?
You get hard on these kids.
Right, whatever, right?
No, I know what you're saying.
I don't even know what gentle parenting is.
No, I get it. I'm just, believe me.
Right, so really what it is that person made me feel like, did I do the wrong parenting or somehow question my parenting, or I have to defend myself? Because if you feel like you need to defend yourself about anything, it's because you are on the verge of not believing yourself, or you are on the verge of there's part of you that has doubt about yourself.
Right. And defending and people that can be defensive, and I've been working on it for years, and I've spoken to, and I mean this in all sincerity, comes from a place where you felt that you were not defended or backed up, and you need to overly compensate and do it for yourself.
But why do you feel like you were not defended or back up? Because there was some part of you that felt like, because that baby child felt like, maybe I'm not worthy of defense.
Correct.
Right. So you don't feel worthy. So it doesn't mean it's right. Right. So, but there's that young baby that feels like, I'm not worthy of being defended. Right. So because I'm not worthy, it's really the I'm not worthy that has to be healed. And by the way, that can be healed. If you're listening to this and there's this part of you that was not taken care of as a baby and not taken care of it, I don't believe there's one thing on this. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it's impossible. But I really do have faith that the whole world can be healed. So that's
as you were sitting and you're using the gentle parenting as your example, I'm sitting thinking of all the times I hear parents in the salon and they're like, my son didn't do this and I whacked him on the ass, or I this rough parenting. And I actually inside send out, like, I'm sending that kid love and light. I'm sending that mother love and light, because I feel that I disagree with that type of parenting. And I'm like, and I'm sending them money for therapy because they are going to need it.
But that's your judgment, right?
Of course it's my judgment.
But it's triggering something in you that needs to be healed.
Absolutely.
And how you heal that, this is such a great example. How you heal that is by forgiving them. So how you do that is you think, I forgive you and I release you to spirit. I forgive you.
I do that a lot.
Right. So you can't heal yourself. You can't forgive yourself, but you can forgive that lady in that place. Right. And you could call social services if you think it's really going to be like.
When I was driving down the street today, I saw this little boy and he was crying, and I saw the father, and the father was like, keep going. And I have to tell you, I was at a red light and my neck was watching this. And then I went like this, it's not my business. And I know it, like, if I saw somebody hit a child, or I would totally, are you kidding? My car would have been in park. I would have been out like crazy. I would have been the Karen on the news tonight. Okay. But I've learned through practicing what I'm practicing and believing in it with all of my heart. If I had to take on the responsibility, and this goes to everybody out there, for everyone that's been hurt anyone that's been, murdered, abused, the people that have tsunamis all over the world, you would never be able to function if you realize that you have to focus on what's going on in your neck of the woods first, and interior wise. You can only help others by putting the oxygen mask on yourself, then
Right.
giving it to them. But I can't just go around like trying to help the entire world. I don't know how Mother Teresa did it. Okay. She's a saint, obviously, but it's so true. It's so true. That's why, too, seeing things through the eyes of love, taking that time for yourself today before coming on here, lighting the candles, lighting the incense, putting on the spiritual music, and literally saying to myself, I need to get into this place, into this headspace. I can't just be out. I have to go within. And sometimes people just have to do that just to get through a day.
So good. And so setting intention. So I think you should start so I start my day in a very specific way. And everybody knows that I the first thing I do is I think 3 good feeling thoughts. And somewhere in the morning when I'm doing my affirmations, because I do some affirmations every morning, I also say, I choose to see things through the eyes of, well, for me, I say the eyes of spirit, because that word works for me. But you could say, I want to see everything from the eyes of life. I invite in love. I ask to see everything through the eyes of love. And then sometimes if I don't understand, because the Course in Miracles will say everything is an attempt to give or receive love. Everything that you say, which some things are really screwed up. But if you think about it, life that way, everything is an attempt to give or receive love. So sometimes I'll see stuff out there and I'll say, I don't know what this is, but somehow it's an attempt to give or receive love. Help me understand this, right? So if you could just, so I try to go through life as a student. And the other thing that I wanted to mention when we were talking about seeing through the eyes of love is, if you really want a good tool, and I use this tool all the time and I talk about it endlessly, is the Book of Positive Aspects, right? The Book of Positive Aspects, starting your day by writing down things you like, is so powerful. If you start your day by writing down the things you like, or grab this book, right? Grab this book.
Right.
I mean, it's all written up, so now I'm writing it on paper. I'm just letting you know because I've already gone through it once.
There's so many books.
Yeah, right. But it is so easy to look at the things in the world, and you have space for one thought at a time. Make the space for a thought. If you're sitting there and in judgment of the TikToker or whatever, your mind could be so much better served. Hey, spirit, help me see this person through the eyes of love, because right now I know I'm seeing my own judgment. Help me see this person through the eyes of love. I think about the difference that your day could be. Well, I'm going to tell you that my year from January 1st on has been so, I feel like I'm in the spiritual awakening. By the way, it's my 19th one, but each one is still the first one. Right?
I love that. I love that.
Right? Wow. It's I've forgotten so many of the things I've learned. I'm learning them again, right? Even though I teach them, it's another thing to experience it on such a gut level. So I'm having my 7th year, and it started out with a bang, and I'm just really grateful that I've been able to really say, I'm not going to go to my job and hate it. I'm not going to go do the things I want to do and hate it. I'm just going to spread love, spread joy. So, and the other thing that you could do is spread love, right? So I call it the spreading of blessings. Go and spread love to everybody. Just offer people gifts all day long. Don't give them gifts if you can, but you could say, thank you, Spirit, send this person this. Thank you, Spirit, send this person that. That always makes me feel good. So,
can you explain a little bit about your year 7 to people that don't understand what that means?
Well, I'm not a massive numerologist. I'm just a dabbler in numerology.
Dabbler.
But, yeah. So everybody has a, I wouldn't teach it. We could bring a numerologist on there.
That'd be great. If you're a numerologist and you want to be a guest, we'd love to have you.
One more way.
Yeah. So everybody has a life path number. So my life path number is 8, right? I don't know if you guys, so 8 is all about power and authority. That doesn't necessarily mean I come into life with tons of power and authority. It really means that's what I'm working through. That's my theme of my life, right? So your life path is your theme. But every year, starting at the beginning of the year, is a even though you might have been born in the middle of a year, you have a year number. So you take the numbers of your birthday, add them up, and then, so like, say if your birthday is 6/20/1999, you'd add up 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9, so.
And then you bring it to one number.
Yeah.
Right?
But for your life path year, you take 6 plus 2, what did I say, 6/20? 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, right? That's your life path.
Because it's this year. It's the year that we're at.
Right. So I'm on a 7 life path year. So
I want to find out my life path year. I can't wait.
We should just do it.
Wait,
But
say that again. Wait a minute.
I mean, I don't teach it. I like read the books. I go online. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a 7. What is that again? Right. So I know 6, I was just done with it. 6 is about, it felt like it's about work, and it's about creating, well, I'm not going to talk about 6 because I'm in 7, but like each year, they kind of go along with, if you know the astrological houses, but there's only 9 of them. So year 1 is the beginning of a new experience, right? There's also master numbers 11 and 22, but
Tracy's birthday is 12/23. We don't need to tell the year because we're looking for her year. We're looking for the number for your year, right? So it would be
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3
is 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 0 is 10 plus 2 is 12 plus 2 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So you're on a 5.
5. So 5 years is a roller coaster of a year. Like 5 is like, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. I mean, it's about traveling. It's about going all over. 5 year is the year of woo. Right?
Kelly's brave. She put her whole thing up. Woo, 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 woo. 8, 9. So then you would be 8 plus 9 is 17 plus 2 is 19 plus 0 is 19. 20, 21, 23. So she's a 5 also.
Woo! Roller coaster year, right?
Oh my God! Now I gotta know.
That can be a lot of fun.
2 plus 1 is 3 plus 3 is 6. That's 2, 13, and then 13
is 4.
Well, no, that wouldn't it be 13 and 15? Because I have to add it in with the 2022.
Wait, 2022 is a 6, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so then, oh God, you're so smart. 2.
Well,
plus,
just figure out we're moving into a 6 year. So let me add my birthday to it. Like
2 plus 1 is 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 6 is 12 so 12 would be a 3.
So 3, I don't remember because it was a lot of years ago.
I don't have a clue. So I'm in for a year. We're going to figure this out. This is amazing. So if you have any other questions about this, you could write it in the comments, or you could reach out to Kim, and then
I am not a numerologist.
No, but you can Google that. That's a really interesting fact. I love that. And whatever it is, you're going to have to look at it through the eyes of love anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at it through the eyes of love, whatever your journey is. And don't forget, when you go to a restaurant, it's like you're ordering up from the universe whatever it is that you want. You don't want to sit there and say, I hate latkes. I hate pea soup. You want to say, oh, I love the grilled cheese. Oh, I love the ice cream. Look at the, that's how I look at it.
I have something that's an analogy. I'm going to do a Donna on the Donna analogy. I'm going to add to, because I do that. And so all the newbies out there, I want to put it in a Donna analogy. So to Donna's point, when you go to a restaurant and you're looking at the menu, I found a great way to order is visualize the actual dish. You know what I mean? And then go, oh, that's what I want that taste right now. But that's basically what manifesting is.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I'm doing that.
Learn how to do it.
Way to go, Tracy Locke.
That's a callback.
That is a callback. That is absolutely. And you would never go into the kitchen and start to help make it. That's when you are overdoing it and not letting the universe do it for you.
She had to come back with it.
No, because listen, it's a volley. It's a volley.
That made total sense. That
was good. You guys, I work with amazing women.
I know. We all, you know what we need? We need a card. Yeah. We're going to these tonight. Okay. I'm so excited. Can you believe it? It is almost the end of our show. We have a show next week where we are going to further talk about, I think next week is our mission statement show.
Oh, yeah, mission statement.
Talk about that a little bit. Go ahead, Kim.
Well, it's interesting. So I said, this is going to be interesting because we're doing all about letting go. And then we're going to be talking about creating a mission statement. But a mission statement is not like magnetizing. It's different. It's about overarching, making decisions about who you want to be, how you want to show up. So they really go together, because if you want to be a person that is willing to, let it be guided by the universe, that would be in your mission statement, right?
Look
so
at
they
this.
really...
The universe sent me here tonight, just what I needed to hear on this full moon.
Thank you.
Oh, Nan, you're amazing.
Man, we need her back on the show. She was unbelievable.
I know.
Amazing. You're amazing.
I love this. I love us so much. I really do. Okay, are you ready? Yeah. I think, Kim, you're going to go first. I'm going to see you.
You're on fire tonight, Mom.
And you are on fire tonight, and I love the color of your top. And love your hair, by the way.
Thank you. I just chopped it all off.
I think you look so, you know what? It's very youthful. You look beautiful and younger and fresh, and I love it. And I know your hairdresser, Kim.
She's awesome.
She's amazing. I love her so much. The other Kim in my life. Oh, see, Nan, you're amazing. Okay. You're going to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, that's why I knew you were going to say it. So I did. I stopped. Isn't that, are you proud of me?
I am proud of you.
Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love it. Oh, it's your first live with us. That's great. We are here 8 p.m. Yeah, she was our story timer. Lisa is the one that gave me all those amazing alliterative sentences. And I have books I have to return to her. And she's amazing. Lisa's an amazing energy. I married her, and I did the ceremony for her and her husband in their yard. Thank you. Positive silver lining from COVID. I just reshuffled, Kim. I don't know what I just did.
Maybe I wasn't meant to have them. Maybe I wasn't.
It was like putting the house up.
The universe is bringing different messages.
That's okay. The universe knows what it wants. That's about letting go and letting the universe.
Divine intervention. Divine intervention. You may feel frustrated, Kim, because something stalls or comes to a standstill. Progress seems painfully slow. Yet this is a blessing. It is divine intervention at work. When the timing is in perfect harmony, all will come to fruition. Oh my gosh, that's so
crazy.
Awesome. I love it. And the last one is diversity. Hey, Massachusetts. Here you go.
Hey, Massachusetts. That's so funny. That word has come up so much in my week.
The University of Diversity. The world would be a boring place if we were all the same. Celebrate your uniqueness. You are special and much loved. That's amazing.
It is. And just so anybody watching, my daughter made a decision to commit to University of Massachusetts Amherst. It was a really hard decision. She was choosing between that and Purdue, and I'm so proud of her.
So proud.
Hey, yeah.
So proud. So for Lisa, it's the first time that you're here watching the live. As you know, Tracy is going next. If you feel so inclined to feel like her energy, then these cards are also for you. So whoever you feel most connected to tonight, you can absolutely note the messages go just as much for you as they do for us. So you tell me when, Miss Tracy Locke.
Now.
Ooh.
Front or back? Front or back?
Back.
Okay. I love it. Love a good trust right there. Trust. All right. All will work out well. We, your angels, are here to nurture, protect, and heal you. Trust in the healing power of our love. We love you more than you will ever know.
Woo.
Trust, Tracy. Okay. Right. You ready for the second one? Do it now.
Oh, okay.
Don't put off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it is guiding. It is the guiding voice of your soul.
Ooh.
Trust. Good. It's like, slow down. Do it now. Slow down.
Do it now.
Oh, Lisa, she looked at us as angels.
Thank you.
I love that. Thank you, Lisa. That's so awesome.
So sweet. Tracy, you know what it
Tracy, why are you freaking out?
5 year of roller coaster trust.
I know. That is my whole life. Hurry up and get it done. All right, no, wait, slow down. Do it now. Like, I don't know what to do. Right. I told you I went to a tea leaf lady. Right? I just have to say this interjection.
No, say it. I'm excited. Let's hear it.
Like, my sister got her tea leaves read. Her friend got her tea leaves read. She's looking at the tea leaf. She's like, Your life is very confusing. Oh, you're the tea leaf lady.
That is hilarious.
That's
That is
awesome.
hilarious. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet, Lisa.
Aw.
And we're here to continue with you on your journey. So ready? I stopped just when you wrote that and I had to take my hand off the card. So I'm going to say that this is a message for us, okay? Archangel Sandalphon, I have heard your call for help and your prayers will soon be answered.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I swear. It's like, I feel it.
So crazy. Okay.
It's not, no, it's amazing. Precious gift. Friendship, family, and love are precious gifts. Do not lose sight of what is most important. Through the eyes of love, that could not have been a better last card, ladies. I'm telling you. Seriously, you are a gift to me. This show is a gift to me. Everyone watching, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And we are so excited to be here. Tracy, I love you. Kim, I love you. And I can't wait to see you guys in person.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next week, we will be back talking about our mission statements. I'm so excited about mission statements. And then we'll see you then. And if you miss us during the week, there's plenty more on YouTube. Go check us out. Yeah, this is episode 63. So you can stay up all night. Binge watch us. Okay, binge watch us.
Leave comments and love hearts.
We love you guys. Have an amazing week.